All right, everybody. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the friggin' show. Welcome to the Green Line Breakdown. I'm your host, David DeFrumolo. I am not a newscaster. I'm not a sportscaster. I'm definitely not qualified for this. I have no credentials. The only thing I am is a fan of your 2024 NBA champion, Boston Celtics. And that's what this show is for. It's to give you a rundown, give you a breakdown of every week, break down the game, information that I feel might be important, and just some of my overall thoughts that are non-reputable, probably shouldn't be said out loud, and definitely will be used against me in years to come. And I'm okay with it. Wasn't sure how I would start the show, but I'm on a roll here, so I'm just going to keep going. The season is upon us. I am recording this October 16th. The season is 6 days away. Hopefully I can get this episode dropped the day before. I don't do much in my life. I barely work. I don't have a girlfriend. I don't hang out with my family as much as I should. Every night available, I watch the Boston Celtics. I listen to sports talk about the Boston Celtics. ESPN, Fox. I keep up with the lives of Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Tatum Pritchard, Luke Cornett, Sam Hauser, some of my favorite. The season is around the corner. This first episode, I want to do a quick rundown of the state of the Boston Celtics, where we are as an organization, what improvements we might have made, some important events that might have happened. And I'm going to jump in right now if we can do that. We won the championship midway through June. Following that, the Olympics were going to happen. There were talks of a summer of Jayson Tatum and possibly Jaylen Brown and maybe some of the other NBA champions. And we were really going to live in the glory that the championship was going to bring the city. And as some of you may know, some of you may not know, that did not happen. It was a bad summer, speaking logistically, speaking in terms of PR. There's a lot of embarrassing things along the way, a lot of disrespect. This was the summer of disrespect. Jayson Tatum gets invited to the Olympics, as he should. Now, for those of you who don't know, Jaylen Brown wasn't originally selected. I'm not there to select the team. I don't know what kind of decisions they make. I don't know who's making the decisions. All I know is that he wasn't in the original selection. And then Kawhi Leonard, who was originally selected, he was dealing with an injury. He was over with the team. And then they came to the conclusion that Kawhi was not going to make it through the summer and he still needed to rest that injury. The style that Kawhi plays in, I'm a believer that Jaylen Brown, the argument is to be made whether he may not be as good as Kawhi Leonard. They have very parallel game styles. The way they dribble, the way they run defense, the way they look for shots. They are almost contingent with one another. Now, when Kawhi Leonard came off, most of the people seeing that thought, Jaylen Brown, finals MVP, wasn't originally selected. Here's your chance to stick him in. And the community turned around and said, you know what? Let's take Derek White. Let's take Derek White instead. I love Derek White. I'm a huge fan of Derek White. You don't select Jaylen Brown over Derek White. Not only are they different players, if you're trying to replace Kawhi Leonard, you don't replace him with Derek White. He's a small point guard. Doesn't translate as well. Now, Jaylen Brown felt this was a choice by Nike, who runs the Olympic team. He felt that because of the way he presents himself to the public, the way he speaks his mind, which he generally does. He's very knowledgeable, very intelligent, carries himself with pride. He thought that due to his previous concerns with Nike, they have had some spurts in the past. That was the reason they picked Derek White over Jaylen Brown. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know. They made different decisions going forward. But all I can tell you is Jaylen Brown is pissed. And he's ready to blow you out every time you step in front of him. You see Jaylen Brown driving down the court with his right or his left hand, he's blowing you over. He's coming to get you. He's going to make you look like a wicker basket. You are a standstill in the path of a train. So that was the first step along this summer where Jaylen Brown was disrespected and not chosen. Now, Derek White and Drew Holiday both got chosen to the teams, so they got their flowers, and they should have got their flowers. Now, all due respect to those guys, they weren't Finals MVP. That guy proved that his play was good enough to be Finals MVP. You don't think that not giving him the time of day, he's going to come back even more pissed off and wanting to play? That's the first half of our two superstars. Then you got the problem with Jayson Tatum. Led the Boston Celtics in points, assists, and rebound in the playoffs. He didn't get Finals MVP, understandably so. I believe in the end, Jaylen Brown's play against Luka earned him his accolades. But Jayson Tatum's a superstar. Jayson Tatum brought that team through the regular season to the finals, an important piece in winning the whole thing. He is a face of your league, whether people want to say he's not. He's got the commercial. He's on the cover of 2K. He's the face of your league. And then Steve Kerr, a bone, a bag of rocks. Stupid. Joker. Steve Kerr, the head coach of the Olympic team, the USA Olympic basketball team. You decide to go out and go, Jayson Tatum, I know you're a superstar. Why don't you go sit next to Tyrese Halliburton on the bench and not play a single game? Tyrese Halliburton, a bum, a bag of rocks, shoots the ball really nice, turn around, play him on defense, blows over like a toddler. Steve Kerr, you're a bum. Tyrese Halliburton, I love you. You deserve the bench time. All these non-Celtics fans coming out of the woodwork. Oh, why would Jayson Tatum start? Why would he play? You've got Kevin Durant out there. Steph Curry, LeBron. I like LeBron. I like Steph Curry. They were playing lights out. They deserve that starting time. They're huge faces. Devin Booker. Devin Booker deserves more time on the Olympic team than Jayson Tatum. Devin Booker, a bum. Put him on the bench. Drew Holiday, Derek White, good plays. They shouldn't be taking minutes away from Jayson Tatum. The argument I'm making is, when we played against Jokic and the Serbian national team, they were playing us lights out. We were going to lose that game if Steph Curry didn't have a hot hand and play lights out in the fourth quarter to win that game. Jayson Tatum got 0 minutes. You know what you could have used in that? Great wing defender who's 6'9" and can play defense pretty well. You know where he was? On the bench with Tyrese Halliburton. Steve Kerr. If I got Steph Curry and Draymond Green for their entire careers, I could have won a championship. I get Andre Iguodala. I get Kevin Durant showing up while I already come off a championship. I'm winning 4 championships. Steve Kerr, you played with Michael Jordan. You got to coach Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Kevin Durant. Steve Kerr, you're a bum. A bum. You suck. Steve Kerr, you should not be the coach of the USA Olympic team. That should have gone to Eric Spoelstra, the head coach of the Miami Heat, who is undoubtedly a very good coach, probably the best coach in the league, even more than Joe Mazzulla. I will give him his flowers. He is that good. Why is Steve Kerr, who gets 3-4 Hall of Famers on his team, looked at as the best coach in the NBA? Steve Kerr is a bum. A bum. Steve Kerr makes thick chicken cutlets because he's a bag of rocks. A dumbass. I forgot what I was talking about. Jayson Tatum. You disrespect Jayson Tatum by not playing through the Olympics. So now you got a finals MVP who feels disrespected. Now you got Jayson Tatum, your number one option on the team, no matter what anybody says. Jayson Tatum is certainly the number one option. They just came off a championship. They had been grinding for 6 years to get this. Evidently, you could go and say, they won a championship, they're going to take their foot off the brakes. Somebody else can win this championship. I would have fully understood that going into the season. I would say, you know what, they might not have their hearts in it because they're a great team, but winning back-to-back is hard. Haven't done it since the 2018 Warriors. They might not have as much energy. They really worked hard for this championship. They earned it. They might take their foot off the brake. No. Let me not give you your flowers for winning a championship. Let me publicly disrespect you. Even though Jaylen Brown kind of brought that on himself, but Jayson Tatum didn't. You stuck him in the team. Didn't play him. Cameras were on him the entire summer. Everybody watched. And now both of them are sitting there at home. They go home from the Olympics. They sit there. And they go, it's like we didn't even win the championship. I guess I got to go back, put the work in, and win another one. Thank you to Steve Kerr, a bum. You're a bum. You're a bag of rocks, a bum. Thank you, Steve Kerr, Nike. Thank you for not liking Jaylen Brown. Thank you to Coach Joe Mazzulla for being a sociopath who felt, wow, this is great for my team. Now I can tell them that they suck and we can go win another one. They have position to go out, put the work in, and win another one. Look for Jayson Tatum to be in the MVP conversation. He's going to be in a better MVP standing by the end of this year than he was last year. Because admittedly, by the end of last year, he wasn't doing a lot of the work, or he wasn't putting up at least the stats to be in the conversation because he was being more of a playmaker, which sometimes that might not get recognized as much. You got to put up the points. You got to show you're doing things on the defensive side. Jayson Tatum is going to be in a better position to win the MVP. Dare I say top 3 guys. He went out, fixed his jumper. Through this preseason, he's shooting lights out. It's much more of a natural shooting motion. Looks closer to when he was a rookie in his first 3 seasons when he was skinny and didn't build all that muscle. That muscle end up changing your motion, the way you bend your arms. Even by millimeters, it changes your whole shot. And I think he ended up with his trainer fixing that shot in a couple of months because he's pissed. And he wants to come out and he's got fire under his ass and Jaylen Brown's got fire under his ass. And watch out. You want to go out and disrespect the top 2 guys on the NBA championship team and act like they're not going to come back and do anything? It's crazy. Thank you. Thank you to Nike, a bum organization. Thank you to Steve Kerr, a bum coach. Thank you to Team USA. Without you guys, we might have took our foot off the brakes, and that's just not going to happen. So, that is my final thoughts on the summer. Couple of things coming into the season, kind of the state of the team, no turnover. So we're looking at our top 5 unit coming back, minus one injury, which I'll get into. You re-sign Sam Hauser, Derek White, Jayson Tatum, Xavier Tillman. I don't believe they signed Springer, but he's our 15th. You go out and sign Lonnie Walker, but by the time I'm recording this, Lonnie Walker is still on the team. I don't know if he's going to make the team solely because of his contract. We would have to put in another $10 million into the cap hit, and we're already way over the second apron. I'm pretty sure with the new owner buying the team, they're not going to go for that. I kind of believe he's going to get cut and get picked up by another team because he is a good player. We have that issue, but hopefully he goes either they work out the money because I would love to keep him. You have those guys. You got Luke Cornett, Pritchard, Hauser, Tillman. Jordan Walsh might make appearances here and there. Looked a lot better in preseason. Looked like, after his rookie year, he's looking a lot more pro-ready. You've got the best team in the NBA once again. It is rare you keep players like this on an NBA team after a championship. You saw it last year in Denver. Even more so a year after as you lose KCP now. Jamal Murray's taking a slide. And they didn't get back to the finals. It's hard. You lose players. You lost Bruce Brown that first year. That was a big loss. We've kept everybody. We lost Svi Mihailuk. Half of you don't even know who that is. I'm glad he went to another team. He's going to get more of an opportunity. He wasn't a top 10 guy for us. It's not going to make a difference. He came in when we were up by 40, and we would all clap when he got a free corner. That's not a guy we really care to lose, but he was a good player. So the team's all back. We have the attitude to come in and go back and win another championship, and I think we're going to do that. There is the issue of Porzingis. Porzingis had surgery not long after the finals. His recovery time, they're looking like, is going to be back in December. I love Kristaps Porzingis. He's in jersey. Number 8. Is he going to be a big missing piece for us for 3 months? Absolutely. Do we have the bench to make up for that? I would say yes. Luke Cornett is a good player. He needs to be a little more of a rebounder. He's a solid guy. Xavier Tillman, when we got Tillman at the trade deadline last year, I thought that was perfect pickup. Some of you might not realize this. Brad Stevens picked him up to be an Al Horford replacement. We weren't sure how long Al Horford was going to stay in the league. We didn't know if he was going to even come back again this year. Some thought he was going to retire. That's who Tillman is. Tillman's there to replace him. Similar body structure, similar play style. Tillman is going to get more minutes this year, become more of a consistent player, and he's going to live up to that assignment. I'm confident in that. He makes a couple more of his shots every game. He's a stud player. So you got him, you got Cornett, filling in for that Porzingis role. Al's still there. Al's not going to do back-to-backs. He's going to be on limited time. So you still got Al Horford. I don't care how old he is. He might be an old bag of rocks. He can still play the game. He still plays at a high level. I think we're going to be okay. I think we're still going to come out of December being top 3 team in the East. You get Porzingis 3 months off, starting in January, only having to go 6 months this time around if we make it back to June, which I'm sure we will. There you have a team poised in setup to go back-to-back. Are there additions in the other Eastern teams that might scare us? Might say, hey, they're definitely a better team this year. They might give us more trouble. Let's talk about that. Let's go down the list. Let's first look at the New York Knicks, because I think the New York Knicks are a very intriguing team. The big trade right before the beginning of the season with Karl-Anthony Towns from Minnesota coming over, and they sent out Dante DiVincenzo, as well as Julius Randle. Now, Julius Randle wasn't even playing when they went on that playoff run. I like Julius Randle. I don't think he's going to do anything special. He's a good player. He's a tough player. I think that New York all has that mindset, so they're not going to miss him. I think Karl-Anthony Towns is a good replacement. They are going to miss the shooting of Dante DiVincenzo. That is an Italian man in New York City playing basketball, and you said, let's send him to Minnesota. Are you out of your mind? You have the one Italian in the NBA, and you move him out of New York? That's a dangerous player. You've upset him. You sent him away to go to Minnesota. Not a single person in Minnesota said, we could use more Italians. You have upset this man. I would watch out for him. You've already seen it in the preseason. He's barking at you. Watch out for Dante DiVincenzo. I could see him having a good sixth man of the year kind of season. And New York loses a lot of his shooting. Does Karl-Anthony Towns make up for all of that? Not all of it. I think he covers some of it. Now, I would like to see if Karl-Anthony Towns buys into the Thibodeau toughness mantra. Because from what I've seen in 9 years, I believe he's been in the league, he's soft. He a bitch. For sure. Karl-Anthony Towns, can you be the tough guy we want you to be in the paint? Can you be that for New York? We don't need, you're cool on the 3-point line, but we have Jalen Brunson. You know, we're going to have Mikal Bridges now. Another pickup by New York. That was a huge trade. Give away a lot of their future draft capital. I love that. I believe in the Nova Knicks. I think they are going to be set up to beat us, to beat the Celtics. That's how they set that team up. So you got him, Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, who does most of your 3-point shooting. Does Karl-Anthony Towns cover some of that? Yes. Does Mikal Bridges cover some of that? Not really. You know, but hopefully he buys into that tough mantra because New York could be a good team. That's a great Eastern Conference Finals matchup right there. We also play them game 1 on Tuesday, October 21st, 22nd. They are going to be a scary team. But I am not scared. I am not scared of New York. We still have the best team, and it clears. They're going to give us fits, but I think we know how to play. I think when the responsibility becomes too heavy on Jalen Brunson, I think that's where they have issues. I think we put that really well on them. This is where that Karl-Anthony Towns trick comes in. Does he help alleviate some of that? I hope he does, because that'd be a good team. That'd be a great Eastern Conference Finals. Now, the other big trade, Paul George getting traded from the LA Clippers, going to Philadelphia. Now I want to say this loud and clear. Joel Embiid, you are a bitch. You are soft as shit. Paul George, you are a bitch. You already got hurt. You've had 2 preseason games. You didn't play us in the preseason. You waited till the next game and then still got injured anyway. Paul George, soft. Joel Embiid, soft. I like Tyrese Maxey. I'm not going to say a bad thing about him. Fuck the Sixers. Bitches. All of them. They don't scare me. Paul George already broke. Embiid, you're going to get 40 games out of you, and then your knee's going to explode, and we're all going to laugh because you're a bitch. I like you, Tyrese Maxey. Shoot those balls. It's really fun to watch you play. But I'm not worried about the Sixers. They don't worry me at all. Max Strus is on that team as well. Fuck him. I like Cleveland. Cleveland's got a new coach. Let's see how that works out. Milwaukee. Giannis and Dame aren't going to work out. I figured this in last year when they made that trade. I figured they're all old. They have the highest age in the league. They have an average age of 31 in the NBA. That's disgusting. Get those boys on AARP insurance. Old as shit. Old men playing basketball. It's never going to work. Unless Giannis has another MVP season in his bag, which I don't think he does. I think he's past that prime. It's not going to work out. Dame's not going to do anything special. Chris Middleton, I don't think he has it anymore. I think he's done. I think they're still good players. I just don't think that they're going to show anything to us at all this season. So those are kind of your top 4 teams. 5 if you count Cleveland. I like Donovan Mitchell. I don't see any other team even coming close. I'm not scared of Orlando. Pacers were lucky to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Admittedly, we were lucky with injuries. They were just as lucky. They shouldn't have gone there. They probably should have got bounced by New York. and they didn't. They were lucky enough to win those 7 games. I like Tyrese Halliburton, even though he's a bitch. He sits on the bench. He's not enough. You got to get another guy. Trade deadline, go get another guy. Miles Turner isn't enough. I don't like their coach. Rick Carlisle was Larry Bird's bag boy. He held his balls. That's what he did. That's what he did back in the 80s. He doesn't scare me. So those are the teams in the East. So that's the entire set of teams I'm worried about in the East that could possibly keep us from getting back to the finals. But I don't think they're going to be an issue. If we look out West, I'm worried about the Lakers. You got a kid like Bronny James, Nepo baby getting drafted 2nd rounder. You get a kid like that? Damn, I don't know. That's an NBA championship. Boom. LeBron. Boom. AD. A bum. Bag of rocks. Doesn't do nothing. I'm not scared of the Lakers. I like JJ Redick. I think he'll be a good coach, but I'm not scared. Dallas. You saw how Dallas wasn't even an issue for us in the finals. OKC, young team. I could see them making it out. Look out for Memphis. Look out for the Grizzlies. They were really injured last year. If everybody stays healthy, you got a starting lineup of John Moran, Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson, Zach Edey, and Marcus Smart. That's your starting lineup. That's a get punched in the nuts kind of starting lineup. You got John Moran. John Moran is a pro shooter. John Moran knows how to shoot. In more ways than one. I'm scared of John Moran. I wouldn't want to play basketball with John Moran. He's too much of a hot hand, too much of a automatic kind of guy. Wouldn't step on the court with him. Good player. I like his work. So watch out for the Memphis Grizzlies, and especially John Moran. Watch out for John Moran. We talked a little bit about the Porzingis injury already. He's coming back in December. Once Porzingis clicks back in January, we're not going to have an issue. We're going to be just as fluid as we were last season with all the improvements of Tillman's going to get better. He's going to be more fluid with the team. Pritchard's going to be better. Hauser's going to be a more consistent shooter. Probably not. He's probably hit his peak too. But, if he can do what he does, if Al stays healthy, if Al's granddad bones don't break, no issues. That's kind of all my thoughts. I wanted to get back into this first episode. Just a little recap, just a summer inclusion and where the team is right now. I'd appreciate any feedback, anything you guys want to tell me, anything you guys might want to see, anything you want me to add in. Any takes or any questions you may have, feel free to send them out to me. I like to answer. I don't know what direction I'm going to take this. I don't know who I'm doing this for. I think I'm just doing it for myself. Chris Stepps, if you're listening to this, get healthy. Al, make sure your knee doesn't blow up. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for making it this far. I hope this was entertaining for you, and I hope you'll come back for the next one. I hope to do one of these every week. It's going to be more of a rundown of the games we played and who I have an issue with and who I think's a bum and a bag of rocks. Steve Kerr, you're number 1 on my list. And Nike, you're number 2. Jayson Tatum, go out, have an MVP season. Jaylen Brown, I'd like to sit down on one of your Harvard lectures. If you hear this, please. Joe Mazzulla, tone it down. Maybe a little. Smile. I'd like to see you smile. And then, in conclusion, go Celtics. The season's right around the corner. I hope you are watching. Tuesday, October 22nd, against the New York Knicks. I know it's going to be a good one. They're going to come to play. We're going to come to play. We're going to get the season started on the right foot. Oh, well, you know what? Well, while I have you here, let me just run down, give you what the games are that entire week. You guys like that? So, New York Knicks, October 22nd. October 24th, Thursday, Celtics against the Wizards. And then Saturday, October 26th, against the Pistons. What a great start to the season. Very entertaining teams. I see you guys again next Monday. Hopefully. I wouldn't put it against you if you never pick this up again. I would honestly probably suggest it. So thanks again for listening. Go Celtics. And I'll see you guys again next Monday.